Hello and welcome to today's video. So I'm here to sit down with you and talk to you about a few things, very exciting things. For those of you that may be new here, my name is Becca and this is my personal channel. We recently started a second channel called STANGL Built, and that channel actually has a little bit to do with what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, I think it's safe to say that we all know that a lot of stuff happened in the year 2020 that we weren't expecting, a lot of craziness. And for some reason, my husband and I decided to add to the craziness in our personal life. So Josiah and I, Josiah is my husband, we have a little boy who is now 18 months old. And in the spring of 2020, we decided that we were going to start looking for properties to possibly build on. Now, at the time, we were living in our new house that we actually built while we were engaged. So we had been only living in the house for a year and a half when we decided to look for potential properties to buy. Now, prior to this, we had actually looked at a few different houses that we could buy and possibly flip. And I even remember putting in offers on some pretty interesting houses. I know that God was guiding us throughout this whole process of deciding whether we should flip a house or buy an acreage to build on. And I'm honestly really thankful that the offers that we put in on those houses, that they fell through, because what we're doing right now is definitely what was best for our family. So let me get into what this whole video is about: building a new house. The piece of property that we ended up buying, believe it or not, we actually looked at it briefly and we quickly dismissed it because we didn't actually walk the acreage, and we just looked at it from the road and we're like, nah. And so we just passed it by and continued to look at, other options. So then the other property that we were looking at was actually in a covenant with a bunch of other lots and houses. Actually, most of the lots had already been sold and built on. Really nice, very beautiful. So of course, with the covenant, there's always going to be rules and regulations that you have to follow. For example, you can't have any animals, and if they wanted to, they could also charge you anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 every year just for being a part of the covenant. So they would do that. Say if they wanted to pave the road, then that's how they would pay for that, or put in a tennis court or something, I think you get the idea. But they could kind of privately tax you if they needed to or wanted to. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, it just wasn't ideal for our family and where we're at right now. Okay, so I say all that, and obviously we didn't buy that particular property, but we really wanted it. From what I remember, it was just under 3 acres, I think, and we really liked it. So we actually put in an offer. Someone else put in an offer that same day, and they ended up getting it. So they must have put in a higher offer because yeah, they got it. We were really bummed at first, of course. So we're like, hey, do you know what? Let's go check out that other property that we totally dismissed and just see what it's all about, walk it, get a good feel for it. Another part of why we dismissed it so quick in the beginning was because this piece of property is shaped kind of weird. The way it looks is it has a lane, and then that lane jots out, and then it curves up and around, and then it goes back skinny to another lane. So a very unique shape. It's kind of interesting. But once we walked to the property, we honestly were like, oh my goodness, we put the house there and we'd put this back there, and this is how we totally knew the way that we'd want to have it laid out. And it actually works pretty well. So again, this property, which is what we ended up buying, it's just under 4 acres, 3.8 to be exact. And the other crazy thing about it is after we walked it and we're like, hey, you know what? This could have a lot of potential. So when we looked into it, the seller had actually dropped the price by 12 grand, which was pretty great. And then we also found out from surrounding neighbors that that piece of property had actually been sold. And then last minute, those buyers, they backed out of it and decided not to get it. We were able to snag it, which I am still kind of shocked that we were able to get it, because what are the chances? Again, God's hand was in every step of this whole process, and we couldn't be more thankful. So with buying this property, of course, we decided that we were going to sell our house. We did consider like staying in the house that we were living in, which was the first house that we built. We then decided that we would both feel more comfortable just selling our house and then renting until this new property is done. And we're very blessed to have it. Our old house that we sold was actually like 3 houses down from the rental property, so it was like really easy to just like move. I must say it is a little weird like driving past your old house every day, but it's good and we're very thankful for where we're at. So another thing about the property is that it was covered in trees and bushes. It was a little overgrown is what I'm trying to say. So it actually took us a little over a month to get the whole property like cleared and like a lane put in, a dirt lane at this point, before we could start the whole building process. Where we decided to put the house, it's kind of like a little bit of a hill. So we actually are building into that, and we decided to do all the concrete work ourselves, which also takes a lot of time and is a lot of work. We had to pour the footings, we had to pour the foundation walls, and then the slab. We are doing the whole 9 yards for this house. Speaking of, if you would like to follow along in this whole process of us building this house, then consider checking out our other channel, which is STANGL Built, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those future videos. There's gonna be a lot of really fun videos here in the future. I can link our other channel down below. But yeah, it's been really fun just recording the whole process. I know looking back, it's gonna be really fun for our family to look back on those videos and just remember all the work and sweat and tears that went into this house. I haven't actually been posting on this channel very often because I've been spending so much time filming and editing videos for the other channel. I plan to get out at least one video on this channel every week, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, basically that's what we've been working on for the past 7 months. Josiah also has a full-time job that he works, so any spare days that he has off, he is out at the property. I like to go out there as much as I can as well, but I also watch our son primarily, so obviously I'm not out there every day. We do have family around the area, which is really nice, so we can have him go there every once in a while. That way I can make it out to the property every now and again to help out. I guess I'm really not a whole lot of help though. Josiah recently told me that when it's just him and I out there working, it's like 1.5 people working. I bet you can tell who's the half and who's the whole. I'm not the greatest at construction, that's for sure. But I still do really enjoy being out there and helping out whenever I can. It's really fun to be a part of the whole process. So far we've worked on clearing the whole property, like I said earlier, taking out all the trees, doing dirt work, staking out the house, which is essentially mapping out where the house goes, pouring the frost footings, pouring the foundation walls, gas lines, plumbing, bringing in sewer and water, pouring the slab, not to mention all of the forms that we had to put up for the concrete and then take down. It all just takes a whole lot of time. Right now we are currently working on framing up the house, which is very exciting and honestly my favorite part because it's where the building site starts to look like an actual house. It's kind of crazy all that goes into building a house. So yeah, that is my little update. I don't know if I can call it little because honestly this is a really big undertaking. I cannot wait to show you this house. It is going to be pretty special. Alright, this is where I'm going to end today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you'd like to follow along in this whole process of us building this new house, then consider subscribing to our STANGL Built channel, which again, I'll link down below. And I hope to see you in my next video.